Welcome to the Brad and Mike and Show, episode
14.
Episode 14. So we've upgraded. So it's very, very fancy.
Yes.
This is the 14th episode. So we feel somewhat accomplished.
Yes, we
do. We now have a green screen behind us. So we were talking to our podcast administrator and we said, hey, how about if we had, I don't know, if we were broadcasting live on the Sequoia National Forest in California and there were nothing but a bunch of big redwoods behind us. We thought that'd be cool. Then we thought,
cool.
No, it'd be better to be on 50-yard line at Ford Field. No, how about behind home base for Comerica Park? But
Sure.
we settled on the fountain in Kellogg Park in downtown Plymouth,
Michigan.
So hopefully that's what you're seeing behind us. We're still working
If not,
out.
take two.
If not, take two. We're still working out the technical difficulties. But today's podcast is going to be
all about Brad.
We're going to chronicle my journey to aging into Medicare. And so I finished my first full month. Today is May 1st. So
today is May 1st, and you had a birthday just a couple days ago. So happy birthday, turning 65, just like we always talk about.
I don't feel old at all. It's all up here, though my knees do remind me, however, I'm not 26 anymore.
Oh, I get that completely.
That being said, as we had discussed in previous podcasts, in that you've got 3 months before your birth month, the month of your birth month, and 3 months after your birth month to enroll in Part A and Part B if you're aging in and enrolling for the first time. So that said, my birthday was at the end of the month. The effective date on my policy is April 1st.
Correct.
So I've had a full month. I have not used my Medicare. Actually, I take that back. I used my One Pass and I joined Planet Fitness for free.
Oh, there we go. Another
Planet
Fitness, ding, ding, ding.
So when you join Planet Fitness, and certainly in my case with Planet Fitness and One Pass, in that you get the basic membership for free.
Yes.
I upgraded to the Black Card membership, which allows me to go to any Planet Fitness. But more importantly,
you're tanning now, aren't you?
No, I'm not tanning.
You're tanning.
I'm an Irishman. I don't tan. I just get
burn.
red. I just get red, yeah. And then it goes away and I'm pale again. But what it does allow you to do is go and get that hydro chair massage, which is kind of cool, you know?
Yeah, very nice.
So that being said, so I have used it in that regard. But what we wanted to do was talk about what the process looks like when you register for Part A and Part B with regards to the Social Security Administration and how that looks. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying you can go to www.ss.gov,
SSA.gov.
SSA.gov, and you can do this enrollment yourself. However, some people
have issues.
They may, and it may not be. They may not be technologically savvy enough to work their way through everything. And we're going to kind of show you what that looks like today, if that's the case.
Yeah, because I think the thing that happens in a lot of circumstances is because you have such a finite time frame to do the enrollment. Now, don't get me wrong, 3 months before, month of, 3 months after.
Don't wait till the last minute.
Yes.
There's no excuse.
So that's really the big thing. And, you always think that when you're going to do it, that won't happen to me. True. You know what? And it's always better to take a look at this beforehand before you do it, because the reality is if you get to the end and next thing you know, you're going to be effective just like you were for April 1st.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if you didn't necessarily get your enrollment done into Part A and Part B by April 1st? Before then, if you didn't, then you're going to go into May or possibly June.
You still have the whole, you've got wiggle room to do it. Your effective date pushes back.
Correct. But here's the thing that I want to kind of cross the bridge on is in your situation, you came off of
my spouse's insurance. That's correct.
So when that occurred, there was obviously, it was not as much money for her to.
It's exactly right.
So
you raise a very good point.
That was the whole thing. So if you run into that situation, you don't do it till the end, you may pay another month's worth of premium for your health insurance.
And I wouldn't have needed to.
Correct.
And here's the thing, and everybody's circumstance is different.
Yes.
And I'm simply illustrating what it was that I went through. And so in plenty of time ahead, I registered with SocialSecurity.gov and was able to register for Part A and Part B, then told my spouse, hey, look, take me off the insurance effective April 1st. But we did that well in advance.
And one key caveat is that you knew that you were enrolled first before you came off the. So word of caution: make sure that you get the A-OK stamp of approval. Yep, we're good.
Yeah.
Before you remove yourself from your group healthcare plan or whatever circumstance.
And you're 100% right. We did do that. I said confirm with HR that I'm removed from the insurance. Now, again, there's a you have a financial stake in all this.
Sure you do.
I mean, otherwise, again, her contribution every 2 weeks, as per her payroll schedule, to have me on that insurance is money we didn't necessarily need to spend.
That's correct. Yeah, spot on. And that's why I wanted to bring that up, because in your circumstance, I'm going to let you I'm not going to steal your thunder on how your process went and that type of stuff. But we have seen it where before people have gone and their name may be misspelled somewhere in the system. And if they were a junior or something,
or an old email address.
Oh yeah. Because now, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about this. I won't get ahead because I know.
Because I got everything printed out here nice. We got slides. And because we have the cool green screen behind us, we're going to hopefully show some graphics and some slides that illustrate what the process is when you go to SSA.gov.
I
always forget the A.
I don't know why.
But so if you're aging in and let's just say you're 2 months from the first of the month, let's say you're born on the 21st, and you want to make yourself effective the first of that month, right? And 2 months before that, you're going to go in and you're going to go to www.ssa.gov, Social Security Administration. The first thing you're going to see, and I'm going to point up here, slide 1, right? Ta-da! Right? So slide 1 is the Social Security Administration. And right up in the middle at the top, you're going to see Medicare.
So there's going to be like this, just like that. You want to do that?
There's going to be a drill down tab. And the second one down is sign up for Medicare.
Yep.
Right? You're going to click on that. Okay. Now, here's where it gets interesting. And from there, you have a couple of choices. You have to authenticate who you are.
Oh, yeah.
You don't just log in.
No.
So here's where I'm going to pause it for a second and say, as we draw near to age 65, many people will have gone into Social Security, SSA.gov, to see what their retirement.
Yeah. Right? So they may have done this years before. Yeah.
You got to know what your username and password is.
Oh, right? And if you don't, you're toast.
And if you don't, well, you can reset it.
Okay.
You can reset it. But, so if you've looked at that before, or if you've filed for Social Security before you turn 65, which is the case as well. A lot of people do that. A lot of people will retire at age 62 because they just figure, I'm just going to take my money and kick back. I don't know so many people who do that these days. It seems like everybody keeps working. I know for my age bracket, full retirement age is 67. So a lot of people will work right up to 67.
Well, you're lucky because it'll probably be much later on by the time.
Probably for you, it'll be like 76. I don't know, whatever. That's a joke.
Sorry, you cannot retire. You must continue to work forever.
But once you get there, you're going to have two choices. You're going to have ID.gov or sign in with ID Me. I chose ID Me, and that's how I use. But you can use either one. If you're going to click on it, and it's going to show you when you get to that page, it's going to show you to create an account. And if you've never done this before, you create an account and you walk through those processes.
Yep.
Right.
Now, how difficult was that to do?
It isn't difficult, but I will say that you've got to slow down, just take your time, pay attention, don't rush it. Don't just start arbitrarily clicking on stuff, and say, well, I wonder where this will take me. You're not running down the rabbit hole, on the World Wide Web.
I'm down here,
searching
please.
Sports scores and the draft grades for this past, draft.
So the reality of it, though, is that you have to go through that process. You have to authenticate, basically multi-factor authentication so that they know who you are. You got to prove yourself.
You have to prove yourself. And then when I chose ID Me, and we're going to now go to slide 2, and you're going to see it up here, and it's going to show you're going to do an email address. You're going to create, if you're new to ID Me, you have to create a wallet, right? You have to go through this process of creating. Now, look, I'm going to pause here for a second. If all this intimidates you and you think, I don't want to go through all this stuff, set an appointment with the Social Security office
Yeah.
and go in, and they will walk you through that. However, one caveat, you can just show up. If you show up, you're going to wait. Because other people had the foresight to set an appointment, and you have to wait until.
Have you ever gone to the Social Security or the car?
Yeah, come on, you know what the acronym is.
Secretary of State. Thank
Secretary
you.
of State.
Yeah. SOS.
Yes, I have.
That's a mess. If you don't get your appointment,
if you don't schedule an appointment, you get what you get. So don't get mad. Don't get pissed because
get what you get. Don't have a fit. Yes,
right. It's incumbent on you to schedule an appointment. Go in, and they'll walk you through the whole process. It's not so difficult. It just takes time.
But it's important to remember, and this is where it kind of goes back to, is let's say you set an appointment. It may be a week, 2 weeks, depending on the time of year.
It's true.
The lead time could be much greater because if it's towards the end of the year.
From people I've talked to, generally speaking, you can get in. If you call on Monday, you're going to get in that week.
Right. Well, I'm saying right now because it's not the annual election or AEP time frame. I'm going to guess that probably year end, they get pretty well slammed, and that may be a little bit longer of a time frame before you're able to get in. Yep. So keep that in mind depending on when your birthday is. But yeah, most definitely, if you run into an issue, that's going to be something that really is going to be important. But the other thing too is, maybe some people don't have a computer, or they might not necessarily have. They might just have a flip phone. A lot of people are going back to flip phones these days. So be aware of that. Right. You might need to go to a friend's house or something like that to get through the process.
If that's the case and you're not comfortable just doing it online, just again, as we mentioned, set the appointment, go in, and they'll walk you through the whole process. It's what they do all day long.
Yep.
But if you are going to go through that process and you do register yourself, then you're going to sign in. And then once you sign in, and then we're going to say slide 3, point 2, and it's going to show you've got to use your email address and your password that you set. And then from there, on slide 4 up here, you're going to get, it's not enough that you use a username and password. No. The two-factor authentication. After they verify who you are, you're going to get a text. And it's going to be a text to your cell phone. The number you list is your cell phone. I wouldn't recommend using a landline. I don't even know anybody who has a landline.
Well, that brings up a good point, because if people have actually set themselves up prior to this, they may have actually had their home phone number before a cell phone number.
We had a couple in yesterday who had that exact circumstance.
Oh, that's right.
Back when they registered, they had a landline. They no longer have that landline. The numbers didn't match. They couldn't register themselves. They couldn't authenticate themselves. So they had to set an appointment and go to Social Security office.
Oh, makes sense. So.
And that's what it is. The whole idea behind this is to obviously cut down on fraud and to cut down, because these days with technology as it has advanced, there are more and more instances of Medicare fraud. And you just got to be careful, and the government is trying to do their part. You got to do your part.
Yep.
And once you get your text and you're able to verify who you are, then you're actually going to get a code. They're going to text you a code. You punch in the code, and then you actually get to an agreement of service, and you've got to click yes, I agree to all the aforementioned information, and then from there. And that's slide 6, by the way. And then from there, slide 7, you actually make it to Social Security.
The finish line. Oh, just to really get it started.
Just to get it started. You have to go through all that. You have to register and you have to authenticate yourself. You've got to use the ID Me or the government ID service to even get access to SSA.gov.
So let's recap like you always like to do. So let's recap this for everybody. Yep. So when Brad went first through this, he basically had to go to SSA.gov.
That's correct.
Went in at that point in time. You then have to click on to register yourself. Basically with that, that's going to then entail putting a little bit of information in. And then you have to use ID Me or the government, ID Gov, I think is what you had said.
Yes, that's right. Login.gov.
Login.gov. Yeah. And then from there, once you do that, you have your email, you have your phone number so that they can send you a code.
That's correct.
Input the code. Now you actually are inside their system and you can start the process, which in some cases.
First you sign in, then you get a code.
Then you get a code.
Then you punch in the code, and then you agree to the terms of service, so to speak, and then you actually gain access to SSA.gov. And then from there, you can actually see you can register for Part A and Part B, and that's a whole separate process. That's a separate podcast altogether.
Yes.
The actual registration itself. And then, of course, there's always there's mitigating circumstances to that. Perhaps you've delayed, maybe you registered for Part A, but you delayed Part B because you're still working for an employer who offers credible coverage.
Yep.
So you're able to you post that off, and you've worked past, as I mentioned earlier, you've worked past age 65 to your full retirement age of 67, or maybe even later.
Again, I will not have a retirement age. They won't let me do that. You must continue to work.
You must. And you say that
I
now.
know, but I
You
say it in
that
jest.
now. But believe me, as you get closer and closer, you're like, man, this guy's out there playing golf. We want to play golf too.
But I can't retire yet because I raised my age again.
Yeah. But that being said, we will revisit the next steps if you've delayed Part B. But the idea of this particular podcast was to kind of give you, and I know I feel like we rushed it, but perhaps we didn't. What I can say is that if you're uncomfortable doing it yourself, and I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, set an appointment with SSA.gov, with the Social Security office, and go in.
Or at the same time, feel free to give us a call here at the office, 734-259-6750. I'm sure that's going to be back up here. Yep. You know, we're happy to help out.
And then also, I've got my shameless plug to Action Benefits with my Action Benefits coffee mug here.
Oh, very nice.
Action Benefits is our MA. We like using them. They're fantastic. Any questions that we would have as agents, they're always there to help us. Walk us through any processes that we need assistance with.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. So definitely, at the same time, give us a call here at the office. Also, do us a favor, like and subscribe as well.
Like and subscribe, please.
Share it with people that you happen to know. Because
also, you can say, you know what? I got a guy. Everybody likes to say, I got a guy. We can be your guys, right? Just say, look, I got a guy. You got to use my guy, right?
No, you got to use my guy.
No, whatever. We're the same guy.
Hey, yeah, exactly.
Two-headed monster, so to speak. That being said, we appreciate you tuning in.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great day. Enjoy the weekend. And with that,
we're out.
End of episode 14.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.